Hey, hi everyone. So, latest projects are going to be these Kato C44-9s. I picked up a couple of these, and what I plan to do is install some sound in them. And I picked up a couple of the Loke GE sound decoders, and I've got the 28mm round speaker, which I'm going to fit into here. So you're kind of wondering how you're going to fit a 28mm speaker in there when there's no sound chamber on the bottom. Good question. All right, and you can't put it in the radiator because there's no room there. Well, I like to think outside the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add sound kind of in an unconventional way. It definitely won't be just a drop-in, okay? So what I plan to do is, that's one unit. This is the other unit. It's all stripped down, okay? So what I'm going to do is turn around. So there's the front, okay? That's the front and that's the rear. So what I've also done is I've picked up from Athearn parts some of these SD70 speaker housings. 28mm. I mean, these things sound fantastic, as you know, with a good speaker in there. So what I plan to do is, downstairs on the milling machine, is to mill out this section here to right about there, okay? So I will retain some of the stock weight on there, okay? And seeing as how it's nice and narrow, it fits into the shell rather easily, which is nice. Okay, so I got these two C44-9s, and what they're going to become is what's been known as what they call the dynamic duo. These were the two last paint schemes in the Chicago Northwestern that were running around together, so they became known as the dynamic duo. And this is after the UP absorbed them. And so like I said, they were the last two in the original paint scheme. So of course they'll be changing out the numbers to reflect the correct numbers for each unit. And it's going to have Loke sound. And it's going to have my style of installing speakers. So there'll be a video coming out shortly as the progress goes along. Alright? Alright, just before I go to the milling machine, I thought I'd point something out. After taking a bunch of measurements and finding out just how deep can this speaker housing sit in there without interfering on the drive line, which I've already found out on another project. So it doesn't look like it's going to go to the back. It's going to go to the front now, because when it sits in the back, it's going to interfere with the exhaust and this bump there, okay? So gonna have to make some sacrifices, so no big deal, and go to the front. So in the front, there's tons of room in here. Okay, so what I've done now is, you can see the lines have been scribed out here on the forward section here, and this is how low I can go, which will still give me plenty of clearance for the drive shaft. Okay, so I'm going to take this downstairs and start cutting away. There, I'm back. All right. As you can see, I've finished milling out the frame, notching it, and what it's going to do is it's going to accept the 28mm speaker chamber from an Athearn SD70. I bought these speaker chambers directly from Athearn parts, so that was no problem. They're only about 10 bucks each. Heck, it's pretty cheap when you consider it against some of the other ones. And what I'm going to put in there is obviously the 28mm Loke sound with the 4-ohm, and I'm going to try for the first time some of these Loke Select Direct. Again, I've never used one of these, looking forward to it. I picked these up from Litchfield and had it installed with the 73440 sound. There are some other videos on YouTube displaying that sound. That does sound pretty cool. Now, as you can see, the speaker chamber sits just perfectly the right height. As I showed you before, it's going to be in the front of the shell, and with the right height, the correct clearance for the drive shaft, The shell just pops right on. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, now all I got to do is install the decoder, speaker, give it a weathering job, and next time you see it, it'll be running with sound. Okay, oh, and LED lights. Alright, that video will be coming sometime soon. Don't know when. Bye now.